Well, hello, and welcome once again to stately Vaughan Manor, and welcome to another exciting Tag Tuesday on Wednesday. Sorry I'm a day late for Tag Tuesday. I was going to film this yesterday, but then there was a series of unfortunate events that happened, and I had to do other things and be elsewhere. So, here I am, back again for an exciting tag. Just one day late. Today we are doing the Moody Reader book tag, and I was tagged to do this by Tome Raider, the amazing Tome Raider. You should all be watching Tome Raider because she's got an awesome channel. I will link it down below. I'll link her version of this tag. So on with the tag. What have we got here? Question number 1. Do you consider yourself a mood reader? Kind of. Yeah, I'm always in the mood to read, that's for sure. But as for what I read, I'm pretty much usually in the mood to read most things. So yeah, sort of. Number 2, do you set TBR lists and do you stick to them? If it's a monthly TBR list, I have trouble with those. I tend to veer away from my monthly TBR lists, which is why I gave them up. And for this year, I had so much to read that I did a whole TBR list for the entire year. I did a video of that. For everything I'm supposed to read for this year. And I hope to get to a lot of it. I don't know that I'm gonna get to all of it because I also got that big giant box of vintage science fiction books just recently that I did the unboxing for. And I vowed that I would read every one of those books. So I've got my regular TBR and I've got all those books. That's a pretty big pile of books to read. So yeah, but yeah, monthly TBRs, no. I start off with good intentions, but then like one of the books will inevitably be like 800 pages long and it'll throw everything off. So, not really. Number 3, do books affect you emotionally? Does the mood of a book rub off on you? It depends. Sure, a book can affect me emotionally. Yeah, of course they do. Particularly if it is a nonfiction book about something sad or awful. And then that mood will definitely rub off on me. If I read about terrible things happening to people, yeah, that'll rub off on me a bit. That is true. If it's fiction, not so much. I could pretty much roll with fiction. Let's see. 4, when you're feeling sad, what do you read? Or do you not read when you're sad? Well, of course I read when I'm sad. And when I'm sad, I will read the book that I am currently reading. Because unlike some awesome booktubers who can juggle a ton of books around, my OCD forces me to only read one book at a time. I have to read this, finish it, read this, finish it. So it doesn't matter how I'm feeling. That is what I'm going to be reading, whatever book I'm reading at the present moment. Okay. 5, most often do you use reading to escape, to learn, or to critically reflect? Yeah, all those things. Although I have to admit, ever since 2020 happened, I've been reading to escape more than anything else. Because actually probably ever since 2016 happened, I've been reading to escape. 2020 only reinforced that. So yeah, I do a lot of escape reading. That's probably chiefly it nowadays. Okay, what is a book that made you laugh out loud? I don't have a copy here because I forgot to bring one back, but the thing that comes to mind for this is an odd choice, I guess. It would be Joe Abercrombie's The First Law books. Any one of those books, he's bound to be funny, and any one of those, he's funny. I mean, he's also horrible and terrible things happen in those books. But he's got a great sense of humor, and I think every single book he's written, there's been something in them that's made me laugh. So yeah, Joe Abercrombie, First Law. Funnier than you might think. Let's see. What is a book that made you cry? Or if you don't cry, one that really moved you? Well, of course I don't cry, being so full up on toxic masculinity like I am. But I suppose if something were to make me cry, not saying that it did. No, I'm not saying it did. But if something like in an alternate universe might have made me cry, it might have been the end of Y the Last Man. This is the Y the Last Man omnibus. It has every single issue of Y the Last Man in it. It is ginormous. But anybody who's familiar with the series and has read it to the end, you know, that last issue? Yeah, the last issue of Y the Last Man pretty much broke me. I'm not saying I cried. No, I wouldn't do that. I'm just far too manly for that sort of thing. But if I were to have cried at a book, it would have been the end of Y the Last Man. Oh, man. I still haven't recovered. And that, of course, is written by Brian K. Vaughan, my almost namesake. No relation, unfortunately, for him. Okay, where are we? Okay, let's see. The crying question. Okay, number 8. What is a book that you didn't even know how you felt about? There is a book like that. And this would be the book. This is Jack Kerouac's On the Road. Now, this is a pretty good book. I admit it is. And many people seem to think it's a very good book. So, yeah, it's a good book. But I didn't really like it. And I didn't care about any of the characters for some reason. I was just kind of like, you know? So while I recognize that it's good, I don't even know if I like this book. You know? It was okay. I mean, I know it's better than okay. I know it's a good book. So I don't know why I was so curiously unmoved by this. I really don't know how I feel about this book. On the Road, Jack Kerouac. Let me know what you think. I'm sure you have stronger opinions than I do, because my opinion is not a strong one. That probably won't be a Sunday Penguin anytime soon. Okay, are you more likely to read on a sunny day or a cloudy day? I will read on any day. Doesn't matter. Number 10, do you usually set the mood when you read? Music, lights, smells, etc.? Well, I don't really have to set the mood because, as you can see, I read mostly in my library here, and the mood is already set. But no. I mean, here's the thing about me and reading. I get so immersed in whatever I'm reading that the outside world just sort of goes away. That's one of the good things about reading, is it makes the awful outside world disappear for a little while, and I can be somewhere else entirely. So I don't really have to set the mood. And the book kind of does that for me. Number 11, can you leap from book to book, or do you need buffer time in between them? No, I need absolutely no time between books. I'll read a book, I can set it down and pick up another one immediately. I mean, I do that all the time. And pretty much every time I finish a book, I have the next one I want to get to. I've already decided what it's going to be. I grab it and I start reading it. That's always how it works. I will reflect later on the book that I have read and finished. I will reflect later and think about it. But no, in between, nah. I just jump from book to book. I think that might have been the last question on this tag. Yeah, that was the last one. So all that is left is for me to choose a victim and tag somebody. Now I think this tag's been around for a while. Who created this tag? I think I forgot to say who created that tag, and this is not good. This tag was created by Brittany at Slanted Spines. Thank you, Brittany at Slanted Spines. I appreciate you making this tag. So yeah, I don't know who's done this tag and who isn't. I am going to tag Revenant Reads just because I really think it would be cool to hear his answers to this tag. I think that'd be cool. So yeah, Revenant Reads. If you've already done this, or if you have no interest, it's all cool. You don't have to. I just think it would be interesting if you decided to do it. So that was my tag for today. My tag Tuesday for Wednesday. Sorry again, I couldn't get this out yesterday. Sometimes, see, this is why real life is so terrible. It has a habit of getting in the way of important things like YouTube videos. Real life, man. But I do have some video ideas coming up. I'm going to do a couple things. I did mention that big vintage science fiction book haul that I got the other day, the big unboxing I did. So I'm going to read every one of those books, and then I'm going to review them. So pretty much every other book, I'm going to be reading one of those. And so the one I'm going to do coming up is Time Out of Joint by Philip K. Dick. Look at that great cover. Time is really out of joint for these folks. So yeah, I'm going to be doing a review of that coming up probably within the next couple weeks. I've also got a review coming up of the science fiction novel Wool, because I just finished that this morning, and that was a pretty good one. Yeah, I like that one. And yeah, and I've got some other things that I have already promised to do, and I will get them up as soon as I can. But thank you guys. Oh, I also want to say, I think I slithered past 350 subscribers, so I want to thank every one of you who has subscribed to my channel. If you haven't subscribed yet, just do it. It's free. It doesn't cost you a thing. So yeah, so I want to thank everybody who has subscribed. I really appreciate all you folks who like and subscribe and comment. Oh, and speaking of comments, one more thing. I want to thank everybody who sent me book choices for the BookTube spin. I got way more than 20. The BookTube spin, I think, is happening tomorrow, so I will film my BookTube spin video tomorrow. Probably a short one. Yeah, I got a ton more than 20, so I'm just going to do the first 20 comments that I got, some book choices from them. But I've got so many suggestions, and a lot of them are really interesting suggestions. So what I thought I was going to do is I will write down all those suggestions in a book. And every month I will do one or two of those suggestions, and I will do a video on those, because it's always cool to break up your reading with something new and interesting that you wouldn't normally choose for yourself. So this is like the perfect thing. So I've got all these suggestions that you folks kindly sent to me. And of course, anytime you want to suggest a book, just throw it down there, man. I will write it down, and I'll get to it eventually. So yeah, I'll be doing those videos too. Some suggestions, suggested reads. So I'll do probably one or two of those a month, I think, going forward. So thank you guys. I appreciate your time. 14 minutes of your time. I appreciate it. Thanks, guys. And I will see you here again at Stately Vaughan Manor. Thanks, guys.